now how do I layer on tools that I can securely use with my data to make effective steps forward in my business? And that's where the agentics come in, and using the open clause and the Claude code and the Claude co-work and the Nemo clause, whatever comes out next.
I tell you, I watched Elon Musk's video this week, and I watched Huang's video. Huang.
Jensen?
Jensen. Oh my God, is the future here.
Welcome to These Droids Podcast, where you find the droids that
you are looking for.
Today's episode, we're going to focus really on the concept that there are three distinct lanes of the way you, as an executive, as an entrepreneur, as an investor, would consider AI adoption in your organization.
Yeah, so what do we mean by three different lanes? We're talking about lane one, how we're going to interact with our customers, right? What are our customers going to be able to see, and the solutions that are going to impact them directly. We're talking about the solutions we're going to bring in-house that are going to optimize our business and make our processes more efficient.
Other people are creating.
Yeah, that other people are creating. These don't necessarily have to be bespoke to our company or anything like that. And there's a lot of these technologies being developed, a lot in the marketing space, a lot around CRMs and how we manage people, and HR is a big area for this as well.
But the really exciting thing is going to be talking about the third lane, and that's where I think a lot of our effort's going to be focused on, and that's what makes an AI agent, an AI assistant that is really tailored to you.
Yeah, how does it amplify the special sauce of your business? So if you're in business, you're doing something special, right? Even if it's on a small scale or a big scale, there's something you're probably doing a little bit different than other people, which is your differentiation. And with AI, we want to show companies different ways that they can leverage AI to amplify their special sauce.
So and what does it mean to be enterprise ready? What does it mean to be client facing? You know, if your organization, if your end customer is part of the Department of War, the national security environment, whether it's federal, state, local government, it is any organization that falls within critical infrastructure. So we're talking about financial services, healthcare, energy, emergency responses, transportation.
Well, I think, and just to put a pin on why those organizations tend to be the early adopters of AI technology, is AI has the biggest impact where there's a volume game associated with the data.
Yeah, that enterprise size.
And if you don't have the data volume, you're not going to be able to get the impacts of AI in the same way. So
at least on that particular lane of AI.
For sure. So often the early buyers are large organizations
that have
and
the data
government
set.
organizations and agencies who have huge data.
And the funny part is, if they are an enterprise organization, they're more than likely they're highly regulated. And when they're highly regulated, it means that they care a whole lot about the continuity of operations of their IT environment, their operations of their organization as a whole.
I think it's beyond continuity. I mean, regulatory requirements are going to span across continuity. They're going to security.
Yeah, the security vulnerabilities, the supervisorability, keeping the human
access,
in the loop.
All of it is going to play a huge role. And so making sure that those things are built in from the ground up are going to have a huge implication on whether or not the technology is going to be viable. Is it going to be adopted? Because again, it's the adopters are going to be these large companies and
the first
agencies.
Adopters.
Right. And if you don't get past them, then your solution may never get to the commercial market.
Yeah, well, so you got to be able to build it for those massive organizations.
Which means security, regulatory development from the ground up.
Yeah, and so that first phase, client-facing, enterprise-ready, the first question we should be asking ourselves is, what is the government going to come out with a regulation that says, here's all the rules of how AI has to be? And the funny part is, if you're developing that type of solution, you can't afford to wait for the government to come tell you what that is. So Brandon and I have been working with our favorite teams of experts to go try and predict what that would look like. What does
well, I mean, we've got a lot of background in the space. Right?
In the
we've worked with financial institutions. We mentioned on the last podcast, we've worked with a lot of different regulated industries. So with partnerships that we've had, we've thought about what does trusted AI mean? What does it look like? And the concept of, well, these are the things that need to be built from the ground up.
And so we will have our very close friend, Tim Stockstill, and the organization that he's a key part of, Fourth Wave, on a future episode to talk about his concepts of trusted AI.
He's a platform designer, and so now he's in the AI space, and he's thinking about it the same way that he was thinking about how do I ship software for enterprise grade
Or how do I advise the private equity funds who are buying companies that are software dependent, AI dependent, right? So second major lane here is talking about who else is creating AI tools that are going to help you drive down your overhead, your G&A. Most important in that, you should be thinking about this elusive concept of business process optimization. And while there are firms out in the industry that will do a really great job of helping you figure out how to minimize the cost of your existing workflows, AI should make you think about different workflows, right?
Well, I think the workflow, like any AI transformation expert is going to come in and say, show me what your workflows are, and we're going to build AI around that. And I think that's step one. But once you start working through that process, you start to realize that humans and AI don't work the same way.
Right.
And so what a workflow for a human might look like might be completely different once AI is involved and it starts the automation process. So that's, I think, what Jason's talking about here is you've got to be thinking differently now that we're in an AI-driven world. But step one is really to identify what are our workflows, how does a human impact them, what is the type of effort that they need to expand or expel, really a better word, to understand or to complete the process, right?
Yeah, and you definitely need to be doing some whiteboarding. And this is the type of thing that I think works really well for the management team, the leadership team, the individual,
Well, we're talking about alignment.
Right.
And if your team doesn't see AI and the implementation of it and the transformation
If they're not
of your
thinking
business,
holistically.
If they're not thinking holistically and they're not thinking, this is our path, let's take it together.
Right.
And you've got people implementing one solution over here and another solution over here, well, those solutions aren't going to work well together.
And unless you have a control over it now, you're already behind the curve, and I'll tell you why. Your employees have brought AI into your environment in ways that they didn't bring cybersecurity into your environment.
100%.
They didn't bring cloud into your environment. They didn't bring data centers into your environment. But your employees, your stakeholders have already said, well, if you're not working with AI, I'm not working with you.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm an employee who wants to separate myself, I'm looking for ways to leverage technology and automation that I can build into my personal workflows at the company and make myself
indispensable,
shine, right? And that's really great that they're doing that, but the fact is, if upper management isn't aware of it, or they don't see the value, and they're not looking to create a strategy to distribute that across the industry.
Or they've installed it and given it read access to all the company's financial information.
Okay, well, that's another issue that's totally separate, which is that's really great that you took initiative and you want to be an A player, but you let all of our data leak out the back door, and now we're in big trouble.
Right, exactly. So lane 2 is about understanding where third-party applications. We're going to feature organizations. Gina's going to be one of the early episodes. She's got this great artificial intelligence engine optimization. We alluded to that in the first podcast episode. We're going to have her on in the next couple of weeks here, but what she has figured out how to do is use vibe coding to develop out AI automation workflows that are really important. You know, we were talking about this as we were getting ready for the podcast about, like, AI is moving the goalposts, and it's giving your competitors skills that they never had. And now all of a sudden your competitors are able to kick 99-yard field goals. That means you've got to think about the change to your organization. What is the strategy adoption that you've got to be doing? You've got to be empowering your employees, your supply chain partners, your go-to-market partners, your delivery partners, your banking partners. You've got to be helping all of your partners.
Yeah, and what I love about Gina is She had an idea. She saw a vacancy, and she went and started creating.
And it's awesome. It's
and
great.
that's the beauty of the technologies that are coming out. I mean, okay, so number one, we're talking about the outwardly facing technology, the stuff your customers are going to see that's going to impact them. Number two, we're talking about things that work within our company that maybe make us move better, faster, stronger. What's the third one?
Yeah, and the third one is really about how do you create a digital clone of yourself that is cheaper, better, faster than what you can do. That is really your special sauce, right?
So clone, I think, is a little aggressive because there is a lot of talk about clones, but it's really where I think you're going with this is we have something special about our company. We do something different than other people. How do we bring the AI in to exemplify that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching this, you have some differentiated advantage that you have hard earned over a period of time that you've probably been thinking about, how do I use SaaS to get me better? And now that AI exists, well, holy crap.
Well, so you want to take your competitive advantage that you've already created and maximize it, amplify it, prevent other people from necessarily like catching up to you.
Yeah, exactly. Stay ahead of your competition.
Right, but you also want to make sure that it's not getting muddied or erased from what you do, because it could be part of your culture. It could be part like your special sauce could be a lot of different things. You want to take AI and blow that up.
All right.
We want the audience to understand the why, just like Jason and I do. So why are Jason and Brandon messing around with Claude Code and Claude Cowork and OpenClaw, right? We're doing it because we're curious and we don't want to be left behind.
Well, and
so if you want to learn the why, we're happy to teach you the why.
Right.
Now, for those who are ready to take the next steps and actually learn the how, we want to make that available to you as well.
And how do you get there? You go to the QR code, you fill in this little bit of information. We're not asking for a lot of information. We want to know primarily, what are you trying to accomplish? And
well, who are you? What's your industry?
That's important.
What type of business are you in?
How might we get in touch with you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we want to target the instruction for the people who are going to benefit it. They're going to get opportunity to network with their peers. They're going to get opportunity to bounce ideas off their peers, which I think is really critical to us all figuring out how do we use AI and how do we use it effectively.
Yep. And the funny part is, like, you are going to be valuable automatically to the community just by being a participant. No matter who you are, there's going to be a value add for you getting coming in and being part of this. So with that, we look forward to continuing this journey with you, and subscribe.
Yeah, please like and subscribe.
Share with your friends. Help us make this a success for you and for everybody else that's involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Jason, it's been a lot of fun working on our first few episodes of the podcast. These Droids Podcast, like and subscribe, is going to be taking our first field trip. We're going down to Quantico, Virginia to meet with Nancy Patillo. She's the director of the Cyberbytes Foundation. And they've got a lot of cool things to show you related to workforce and economic development for the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to going down to the Quantico Cyber Hub and checking out all that they're doing in artificial intelligence.
Please
innovation.
join us.
Thanks,
like
guys.
and subscribe.
Thanks.